do in life and the academy that I have, and pursuing my dreams. I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. Just the hugest support system that I could ever have dreamed to have. Kind of wish I was 30 months that way on following the roll But yeah. So for me, yeah, no, I started jiu-jitsu like at the end of 2013, and I've had my hiatuses from the mat. But what's so fitting for me, kind of like Fred here, Fred was on the mat when I first started. Ron was on the mat when I first started. Joel Glick, wherever he's at, he was on the mat when I first started. There's a few other people that aren't here today that brought me in, that have helped support me throughout my journey. But aside from my wife, no one has supported me more and selflessly than Tom. And you all are lucky to have Tom, and it's an understatement because growing up in this town, I was a skateboarder my entire life. And someone that I looked up to when I first moved here, and skateboarding is my passion, was Tom. And I've always known Tom as someone that's just been stand up and all about his game and what he does. But the very first time I walked into a Jiu-Jitsu Academy, right where Rob was at, the door opened up, and I went into pretty much like a euphoric state because I walked in and I looked, and there was Tom, and he looked up at me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, dude." And I went, that's Tom Knox, and I just was walking in this stupor, like, did not know he does martial arts, but he does martial arts, and so here I am, getting a black belt from the person that I've, seen from day one on the mat, and I do run an academy in the Bay. It's small. I have some of my students that have come down. Some of them are on the mats, and some of them come down to support me. Thank you, fellas. I'm holding it together a lot stronger than these guys. I'm surprised right now. I had been doing jiu-jitsu for about 9 years. I still had a blue belt. I got promoted to blue belt from a Ralph Gracie black belt, and I had an academy that was a multifaceted academy. It did not have any martial art instruction. Some people came my way. I ended up showing them jiu-jitsu. I ran into Tom at the SF Open in Oakland, and he said, "Hey man, what have you been up to?" I said, "Hey, I've just been teaching jiu-jitsu and doing my thing." He said, "Hey, great man, who are you under?" I said, "Me." "Oh dude, go under me. I don't want anything from you. I just want to help you out." And he has, he's supported me, he's come up, he's one of my students. He's been a mentor to me, he is a mentor to me. I know he's a mentor to all of you. And I'm happy for all of you because this man has changed my life, and I know he's changed your lives. And I just hope that, that you all look around and you see what's really important, and that's you all here and your relationships with one another. The other night, 2 of my students were jumping into a car, and I looked at them as they were walking in, and they were smiling. And I got emotional, and I thought to myself, that's what this is about. That's what's important to me. Your skill on the mat is huge, but how you interact with each other and the bonds that you make, and the friendships and family that you'll have many families here at this academy. It's amazing. Soak that up, cherish it. And I hope that each and every one of you are standing where I'm at one day, and you go on out and branch and share the love of this sport and martial art, and change lives with it, because that's really what I'm all about. And I'm just really honored to do it. I'm honored to be here, and I'm going to follow Mark right here. I'm going to bow to you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, I've thought about this day probably